The show is starting.
The finest in underground television.
The Mental Traveler by William Blake. I traveled through a land of men and women too, and heard and saw such dreadful things as cold earth wanderers never knew. For there the babe is born in joy that is begotten in dire woe, just as we reap in joy the fruit which we in bitter tears do sow. And if the babe is born a boy, he's given to a woman old, who nails him down upon a rock, catches his shrieks in cups of gold. She binds iron thorns about his head. She pierces both his hands and feet. She cuts his heart out at his side to make it feel both cold and heat. Her fingers number every nerve, just as a miser counts his gold. She lives upon his shrieks and cries, and she grows young as he grows old, till he becomes a bleeding youth, and she becomes a virgin bright. Then he rends up his manacles and binds her down for his delight. He plants himself in all her nerves, just as a husbandman his mold, and she becomes his dwelling place and garden fruitful 70-fold. An aged shadow, soon he fades, wandering round an earthly cot, fulfilled all with gems and gold that he by industry had got. For these are the gems of the human soul, the ruby and pearl of the lovesick eye, the countless gold of the aching heart, the martyr's groan, the lover's sigh. They are his meat, they are his drink. He feeds the beggar and the poor, and the wayfaring traveler. Forever open is his door. His grief is their eternal joy. They make the roof and walls to ring, till from the fire on the hearth a little female babe does spring. And she is all of solid fire, and gems and gold, that none his hand dare stretch to touch her infant form, or wrap her in his swaddling band. But she comes to the man she loves. If young or old, or rich or poor, they soon drive out the aged host, a beggar at another's door. He wanders weeping far away, until some other take him in, oft blind and age-bent, sore distressed, until he can a maiden win. And to allay his freezing age, the poor man takes her in his arms. The cottage fades before their sight, the garden and its lovely charms. The guests are scattered through the land, for the eye altering alters all. The senses wrap themselves in fear, and the flat earth becomes a ball. The stars, sun, moon, all shrink away, a desert vast without a bound, and nothing left to eat or drink, and a vast desert all around. The honey of her infant lips, the bread and wine of her sweet smile, the wild game of her roving isle, does him to infancy beguile. For as he eats and drinks, he grows younger and younger every day, and on the desert wide they both wander in terror and dismay. Like the wild stag, she flees away. Her fear plants many a thicket wild, while he pursues her night and day, by various arts of love beguiled, by various arts of love and hate, till the wide desert planted o'er with labyrinths of wayward love, where roam the lion, wolf, and boar. The trees give forth sweet ecstasy to all that in the desert roam, and many a city builded here, and many a pleasant shepherd's home. But when they spy the frowning babe, terror strikes through the region wide. They cry, the babe is born," and flee away on every side. For who dare touch that infant form, his arm is withered to the root. Lions, wolves, boars, all howling flee, and every tree does shed its fruit. And none dare touch that frowning form, except it be a woman old. She nails him down upon the rock, and all is done as I have told.
Here before you is an opportunity to plumb the depths of the mysteries that confound and intrigue us. A chance to ask the big questions. Dr. Hal is not concerned with questions of trivial matters or of facts that are easily gathered elsewhere. Dr. Hal seeks the questions that transcend fact. He stands before you, ready to take questions that used to be brought to wise and aged sages on distant mountaintops. These questions can now be asked from the comfort of your living room. No Sherpas required. Simply direct your favorite web browser to our new and simple-to-use website, AskDrHalShow.com, or click the Ask Dr. Hal button below our live Twitch broadcast. You will be spirited away to the magical Ko-Fee portal, where all you need do is submit your burning question in the handy message field, and assign a monetary value you wish to place upon it. Our stage ghost will then convey your message live to Dr. Hal, and he will answer in the manner that only Dr. Hal can. Don't worry, we never sell, share, or solicit using your provided email address. PayPal will ensure that your valuable love offering goes directly to Dr. Hal. Links to submit questions and more can be found at our website, AskDrHalShow.com. Do not let this opportunity to consult a modern-day oracle, a seer for seers, a man steeped in the arts, sciences, and esoteric studies, pass you by. We present to you, through the very miracle of the internet itself, the one and only Dr. Hal Robbins, now making house calls. Welcome, dear audience.
Greetings and salutations.
We have done this 40 times, and every single time that it works, I am just shocked and amazed. It's just...
It's not that we don't prepare, but it's a landscape of strange eruptions that may occur.
Well, you know, it's like Joe Kennedy. You turn around and the plane blows up. You know, you flick that switch, and there it goes. Little cross wire, and boy, everything goes sideways. If anybody's heard that Joe Kennedy story, it's pretty crazy. Guy
I
flew it.
actually hadn't. Could you say it or summarize it?
During World War II, he wound up flying a suicide mission. Essentially, they were
Oh,
supposed to bail out
Joe
of the
Kennedy, the
airplane.
elder.
Hmm.
Yeah, right.
The elder brother Kennedy.
Hmm.
And they loaded a plane up with explosives. And him and his co-pilot essentially were doing a humane kamikaze mission. And they were supposed to bail out of the plane. And when Joe Kennedy turned around to flick the switch to arm the bomb to bail out, he gave the code that he had armed the bomb, and then it blew up. And that's how Joe Kennedy was killed in the Second World War.
Hmm.
The things you learn on the internet.
Hard to
Hopefully
keep
that
all
doesn't
the-
happen to us this week.
You know,
hope-
well-
did you arm the bomb before we went live?
Well-
I'm just curious.
You mean this isn't?
And there will be no bomb, no flopperoo.
No bombing tonight.
Yes.
No explosions.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm
Aw.
see here that Princess Wee has been laid up after major foot surgery. So she's
Oh,
I knew she was going to have it, and when it's all over, she'll walk better and with more assurance.
she is convalescing. So yes,
well, our love to Princess Wee.
yeah, feel
Yes.
better, darling.
Perhaps Ivan can have some other person hired to take the giant dogs on their rowdy rampage.
That's what you need. Where are the bobbies?
Yes, well,
Yeah.
we might drag the Bobby all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, but on the other hand, it would be helpful to offer this. And if you're an animal lover, I'm sure the Stangs would welcome your help at this crucial time.
Yeah. So yeah, we hope you feel better. We're all of us, we're all starting to creak. Good God, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're,
It's just beginning for me, but I see it coming.
you're gonna love it.
May
Oh,
it be a
boy.
minor episode. They were going to fix my feet at the hospital, but then they said, well, we'll sort of have to break them to get them to
Oh,
right. And you'll be, I forget whether they said I'd be off my feet for 6 weeks or 6 months or whatever. Not possible.
no, not terribly.
No.
Oh,
Oh, well,
awful.
I've got to use the feet I have to walk on this narrow path full of thorns, scorpions, and epithets. But we might get some good questions today, I have a feeling.
We have to break your feet to fix them. Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Well, they've been pushed into the wrong configuration over the years. You know,
Yeah.
no point in working on the outside if you can't rearrange the support structure. I believe that's the plan.
Mm,
Well, you mentioned questions, and we do have questions, and
indeed.
our
That's
dear
what keeps us-
friend Professor Gofflin is going to ask you the first one.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
all right.
Oh,
So-
but before we begin,
Oh.
would anybody like to hear some cartoon factoids for today?
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yes, of
I was
course.
enjoyed that cartoon.
Yes.
We usually show a Charles M. Jones cartoon, but of course they are always charming.
Indeed. Well, it's rare that these end up in the public domain. This was actually the result of a small snafu in the 1970s. It sort of slipped under the radar and became public
Uh-huh.
domain. So, yeah,
It's
their
ours
loss is our
now.
gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they copyright the music, and I can't play it without running
Yeah,
it through
well,
some kind of
that-
computer filter.
That may be a problem with the Carl Stalling soundtrack, but however, interestingly, yeah, this was directed by Chuck Jones and was animated by a guy named Ken Harris, who was actually considered something of a powerhouse animator. He's really known as being very quick, very prolific. He had a very long and storied career. He actually is one of the longest running collaborators with Chuck Jones. They worked together pretty closely from about 1936 to 1962. If you have seen the short The Dover Boys, the character Dan Backslide, the main baddie, is actually a caricature of Ken Harris. So that's if you can imagine that in your mind, that's what you're working with. So yeah,
Well, he
that's,
made it look like a Jones cartoon.
yeah, I noticed it was sort of funny because you could see little flashes of the character design having that very sort of Chuck Jonesy
Mhm.
look to it in moments, but not throughout the entire thing. It sort of was a collaboration. So very interesting.
I want to say the Dover Boys is in the public domain as well.
I think that might end up on the show at some point, but don't quote me on that.
I think it is in public domain.
We'll
So yeah,
just have to see.
I'm a Dover boy.
Well, you are.
I'm
From,
Dover, Delaware,
Mm-hmm.
right here on the East Coast, Dover, Delaware.
Mhm.
Anyway, Amy, would you like to ask Hal a question?
Yes, I would. Let's continue.
I'm
Let's
going
do our
to pass.
thing.
you.
I'm going to pass the torch over to you. Here it comes.
All right, sounds good. All right,
Very
Dr. Hal.
important, eh?
Yes, here we are. Okay. Let me bring up the question. Our first question is from our dear friend, Reverend Griffin, over the pond. This is a $7 question, and he
Mhm.
asks, how do we fight the conspiracy when they have more theories than a quantum physics department?
Well, by its fruits shall the tree be known, said the founder of the Christian religion. And many aspects of the conspiracy are concealed as something delightful, just as a poison pill is coated with a delicious candy shell, so that by the time you've enjoyed that, you start encountering the toxins. And therefore, it is difficult, especially since the outer shell of candy, if I may continue the metaphor, may provide some intimations of slack, which a subgenius always seeks. But ultimately, the conspiracy is destructive and not supportive of slack. And the conspiracy seeks to sell you false slack, causing you to labor for a living, to earn money to purchase other items of dubious slackitude, and items which will not provide true slack, but only the thirst for slack, which it prompts you to seek elsewhere. So if that's happening to you, you can tell the conspiracy from what really leads you on to that private spot of bliss, which may be something quite ephemeral to most people, hardly even noticeable, but to you, the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Thank you, Hal.
I had trouble finding my button there for a second.
Your button?
So I had a really nice program on my iPad, and then my iPad battery died, and of course you can't replace the batteries in one of those things, at least not.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, yeah, a specialist has to do it at the Gorilla iPad battery replacement place, which is right next to the corporate iPad place.
Apparently they need to be more special than I am, because I was not able to do it successfully. I failed miserably. Matter of fact, got zapped really
I've heard
good.
Of doing it. What, you got a punitive electric shock for going where they don't want you to go?
No.
The battery is flexible, and when I pulled the battery out, I creased it, and apparently got into the conductive material, and I put my hand right on it and went zing, as I was left a really nice spot weld on my finger. It was pretty painful.
But maybe now you can make calls without the personal portable device.
It hurt like a son of a gun.
I'm sorry to hear.
Well, yeah, thank you for your, for your condolences, but it healed. It fell off finally. But how? Let me ask you a question. Professor Gofflin will bring you back a little later.
Excellent.
Very good. I hope so.
There we are. I found the right button. Oh, but I was saying, I had this wonderful application for switching scenes and everything. Big bright buttons that I could read easily. Well, when I got the new iPad, they took it off the Apple Store, even though it was something I paid for, and I don't have it anymore, and now I'm using something that isn't anywhere near as nice. But that's just my complaint. I just thought I wanted to throw that out there so everyone could commiserate with me, like my electrical zap from Apple.
Similar to the divine immaculation that J.R. Bob Dobbs received.
I was enlightened.
If you start hearing the mumbled words of Jehovah One, you'll know their point of origin.
Well, Hal, I have a question here for you. It is a $15 question. It is from our
Oh,
good
man.
friend, Reverend Xenofact,
Excellent.
and who I believe his new zine is out. So, folks,
I can't wait to get my copy.
so Xenofact, you're out in the audience. If you'll toss people that information, we'll give you a quick pitch there. But I do believe his new zine is out or will be out shortly.
And his new zine is called The
It's
Vault Flag.
and oh, we sold out, he said. Oh man,
Oh, no.
denied. Gave
Oh,
the guy a
my.
pitch and he didn't
Oh.
need it.
Oh,
No.
you better order up another print run there.
Man, that's good. That's good news. I'm glad you're sold out. But
Congratulations.
sorry for our
Yeah.
audience. He already sent the order in, so fear not. It will
All
be
right.
it will be coming. But
All's well that ends well.
his question is, Dr. Howe, there are many great B movies, a good deal of which would not have been great with more budget and so-called talent. Yet among them, what B movies do you feel would benefit from a loving remake with more time and money?
Well, some of them have had a remake with more time and money, but the remake is still nowhere near as fun as the original. Money is not always the solution, and often a small budget causes the filmmakers to come up with solutions which, because they are more direct and spend less, are more architectonically necessary to the plot and to the understanding of the plot. Such a movie is Gun Crazy, featuring Peggy Cummins, seen as the school teacher, the daughter of a man ripped apart by a demon in Night of the Demon, Turnier's monster movie that we have featured clips from in the past. But in this movie, she is unrecognizable as that former character, and wearing a little cowgirl outfit, shoots people right and left, robbing banks and performing things which, though people are habituated to in the present, were quite shocking in the bland black and white 50s when this movie was made. So they remade it with Drew Barrymore, and it sank like a stone beneath the surface. Gun Crazy, the original B movie, Gun Crazy with Drew Barrymore and her teenage angst, with nothing to register it. And that is certainly one example. What if you poured a giant budget into Ed Wood's Orgy of the Dead? It certainly would not be what it is now, which is strangely compelling, if you like Criswell in a graveyard rating strippers who dance among the tombstones.
And
Oh, $15, did you say?
$15, yes, Dr. Howe.
This is a poem by J.R.R. Tolkien called The Stone Troll. Troll sat alone on his seat of stone, and he munched and he mumbled a bare old bone. For many a year he had gnawed it near, and meat was hard to come by, done by, gum by. In a cave in the hills he dwelt alone, and meat was hard to come by. Up came Tom with his big boots on, and he says to Troll, "Pray, what is yon? For it looks like the shin of mine Uncle Tim, as should be lying in graveyard, caveyard, paveyard. For many a year has Tim been gone, and I thought he was lying in graveyard." "My lad," says Troll, "this bone I stole. But what be bones that lie in a hole? Thine uncle was dead as a lump of lead afore I found his shin bone. Tin bone, thin bone, he can spare a share for a poor old troll, 'cause he don't need his shin bone." Says Tom, "I don't see why the likes of thee, without axe and leave, should go making free with the shank of the shin of my father's kin. So hand the old bone over, rover, trover. Though dead he be, it belonged to he. So hand the old bone over, For a couple of pins, says Troll and grins. I'll eat thee too, and gnaw thy shins. A bit of fresh meat would go down sweet. I've a mind to dine on thee now. See now, he now, I'm tired of gnawing old bones and skins. I'll set my teeth on thee now. But just as he thought his dinner was caught, he found that his hands had hold of naught. Afore he could mind, Tom nipped behind and gave him the boot to larn him, warn him, darn him. A bump of the boot on the seat Tom thought would be the way to larn him. But harder than stone is the flesh and bone of a troll that sits in the hills alone. As well set your boot to the mountain's root, for the seat of a troll don't feel it, heel it, peel it. Old Troll laughed as he heard Tom groan, for he knew his toes could feel it. Tom's leg is game since home he came, and his bootless foot is lasting lame. But Troll don't care, and he's still there with the bone he boned from its owner. Loner, donor, Troll's old seat is still the same, and the bone he boned from its owner.
Oh, I love that one.
From the Red Book of West March, thought to have been composed by Sam Gamgee, who was always fascinated with the stories about the trolls that his Uncle Bilbo told him. Oh, his friend's uncle. So, there you have that.
Let me do a little camera adjustment here. There we go. That's better. Well, we have our first monster movie moment coming up. Speaking of B movies, we have an old favorite that we've done some new stuff to. So we hope you enjoy it. But before we go, anybody have anything?
No.
Well, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and play the monster movie moment. Audience, get your questions in. We have plenty of time. The good doctor has nothing but a head full of answers, so drain them off, milk his brain so he doesn't have to go to the hospital to have it drained off professionally.
No, that's
Please.
the day after tomorrow, and it's for eyes.
Not the brain milking this time.
No, nor does it have to do with all the dust I inhaled recently.
Oh.
They work on the eyes.
You had a bit of an adventure because you just came back from Burning Man.
Yes, I was lost in the storm, the terrible Category 4 dust storm, and so I couldn't see, and I went far astray, and I breathed too much of the alkali dust. But I'm much better now.
Good, good.
Good. My God. Lost in the desert. You get to add that. You get to add that to the list of things you've done. So,
Yes, it's not as bad as some years. But anyway, that was that.
Have you been caught in quicksand yet?
No, I have not. But that might have happened last year if circumstances had been slightly different.
That's true.
All right. Well, very good. Well, here comes our monster movie moment, folks. Get your questions in, and we will see you here in a few minutes.
By the way, you could always ask questions about the monster movies or anything else that we show. If you're stymied or stumped with a question, the questions don't have to be all that witty. We're the ones who have to make them entertaining. So feel free. Yes.
I had to run and get something. I have show and tell time.
Oh, good. An artifact.
An artifact indeed. So this is a small ceramic Beulah.
Where in the world did you come up with that? Even the pictures are there.
Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? I actually got this from a Atomic Tiki Terrors. It was purchased at Monsterpalooza several years ago.
Is it intended as a Christmas ornament?
I think it was, but it's a necklace now.
Oh, well, that's a much better, less
But
seasonal
I
use.
should, yes, I should just affix it to my tie. I think that would work perfectly.
Meritorious Order of Beulah.
Indeed, indeed.
Awesome. Aren't those little festivals just the greatest things for finding the
Oh,
wildest
They
little
certainly are.
bits
they
of
really
tchotchke?
oh, so good.
We have a fig tree root that we dug up several years ago that looks just like Zontar. We have it we have it standing up in our backyard with two googly eyes on it, and it guards a birdhouse. It's actually kind of spooky looking.
And you said you were getting back into shortwave radio. Are you sure we're not just reenacting It Conquered the World?
You know, things have a way of echoing through the ages, don't they?
They do, they
Has
do.
that fig tree root ever appeared to move or shift from its position?
I'm not sure.
Well, if you should hear a soft tapping at the window pane one night, might want to investigate.
We'll put the critter cam on it, see if it
Mhm.
see if
There
it
we
comes to
go.
life when no one's looking at it. Oh, that's an interesting. Actually, I think Doctor Who did it. Never mind.
Oh, well.
The-
Great minds think alike.
Yes, the statues that when you weren't looking at them, they came to life. That's kind of a creepy
Right.
concept too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very, very much monsters under the bed kind of thing. But we have more questions, Dr. Howe, if you are ready
Good. That
to
would be good
answer
for the
them.
show to have more questions.
Professor Gofflin, I will bring you back shortly. And
Indeed.
let me find the right button. There we are. Let me adjust that camera. The camera keeps slipping on me today. There we go. That's better. Let me see, Dr. Howe. I have a $30 question from
Holy guacamole.
$30 question, Dr. Howe, and it is from our very good friend, Dr. Penny.
Oh,
And it is, what is the story of when Philo first met Bob?
well, of course, that would be better to ask Philo, since I only know what Philo himself has said. But as I understand it, Philo was disturbed in doing something, I think watching a TV program, and surprisingly enough, did not recognize Bob. Well, of course, the hour was late and the door faced the west and the sun was westering, and Bob simply stood there as a silhouette and didn't answer Philo's somewhat brusque inquiry about why he was standing on the doorstep. But then, with a feeling that he once said was chilling, Bob recognized the silhouette of the head of the strange visitor. So he asked him in, and like a vampire, Bob, once crossed the threshold, had dominion in the life of Philo and continues to have it. Now Philo has withdrawn to his big spread in Kentucky, where he can take hydrochloroquine and ivermectin and all of that stuff, and not be bothered with Californian issues. But one who has been touched by Bob will never be the same. That's an incredibly generous donation, Dr. Penny. You know, she listens to the Ask Dr. Hal show on Radio Valencia. Here is a poem by Dylan Thomas. It is called A Refusal to Mourn the Death by Fire of a Child in London. Never until the mankind making bird, beast, and flower, fathering and all humbling darkness, tells with silence, the last light breaking, and the still hour is come of the sea tumbling in harness. And I must enter again the round Zion of the water bead, and the synagogue of the ear of corn. Shall I let pray the shadows of a sound, or sow my salt seed in the least valley of sackcloth to mourn. The majesty and burning of the child's death I shall not murder, the mankind of her going with a grave truth, nor blaspheme down the stations of the breath with any further elegy of innocence and youth. Deep with the first dead lies London's daughter, robed in the long friends, the grains beyond age, the dark veins of her mother secret by the unmourning water of the riding Thames. After the first death, there is no other. Thank you for your question.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Howe.
Professor Gofflin, would you like to take the next question? I'll make it your choice.
Certainly, yes, I will. Let us see. I would like to. Here we are. I have a question from our dear friend Agrajag. It is a $20 question, and he asks, I'm thinking about redecorating. Need some inspiration. Which cryptid or cryptids best encapsulates the autumnal season?
You mean images of them?
It just says which cryptid or cryptids best encapsulates the season.
You'd have to, I'd have to see what the illustrated image of each of them looks like, and it would be the best illustration of perhaps the least appealing cryptid that might win the decorative spot in your house. It has to be something you not just glance at, but can live with and look at constantly. What about an image of the Loveland frogmen, or Chessie, the water monster, the famous Bigfoot, old Sequoia, the wisteria giant turtle, and so forth and so on. You know, there is a map of cryptid species. I think it may be at subgenius.com. The first thing to do is to choose the creature that appeals the most to your imaginative nature. And then, since you're on the internet anyway, run a search of images, and you might find one is the one that you can't live without. In fact, you might find the image maker and ask that person to make you a duplicate or better copy of that image. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But it is not unusual that the answer and the solution is hidden, since in this case, the subject makes its reputation by being hidden. April Rise by Laurie Lee. If ever I saw a blessing in the air, I see it now, in this still early day, where lemon green the vaporous morning drips wet sunlight on the powder of my eye. Blown bubble film of blue the sky wraps round weeds of warm light whose every root and rod sputters with soapy green, while all the world sweats with a bead of summer in its bud. If ever I heard blessing, it is here, where birds in trees that shoals and shadows are splash with their hidden wings, and drops of sound break on my ears their crests of throbbing air. Pure in the haze, the emerald sun dilates. The lips of sparrows milk the mossy stones, while white as water by the lake, a girl swims her green hand among the gathered swans.
Beautiful, Hal.
I have a follow-up question.
Oh.
Can I just interject? I'm so sorry.
Certainly.
Does the headless horseman count as a cryptid?
I wouldn't say so, but that's a spirit of the region where my sister lives. My sister used to live quite near Sleepy Hollow. She once pointed out the little shack that Ichabod Crane used, and my nieces and nephews went to Ichabod Crane High School.
Oh, interesting.
or middle school, actually, I guess it was called. He was an educator,
Hmm.
Professor,
But why do you, who is that a follow-up question from the same
Oh,
person?
that's my own personal
Oh,
follow-up question. I just wanted to.
well, if the headless horseman was reported rampaging in the area and never found,
Mm,
perhaps, and yet we know what it is, and a cryptid species is one where we don't know the biological classification of the creature, like Mothman or something like that.
I see. I see. That makes more
So I
sense.
would say it wasn't, but that's just a matter of personal taxonomy where I'm concerned.
now, Professor Gofflin, I heard a rumor that you might be planning on visiting the Sleepy Hollow area
That's
here.
absolutely correct. We actually just booked our hotels today.
Very
So
nice.
we're going to be making a trip, a little book tour in support of my beloved life partner's new book.
Very nice. Yeah, well, give a pitch. Give a pitch.
You want to pitch?
Give
Okay,
a
give
pitch.
me 1 second. Let me grab it real quick. There we go. Okay, so it is called Shock City, and it is a
Wow.
horror story for children. And it is about a chipper little monster girl who makes friends with a normal human boy from the neighborhood, and they go on an adventure to save the crumbling town of Shock City in which they live, and come to find out that most of the problems in the town are caused by the chipper monster girl's grandfather. So it's a family fun adventure story for all ages, but most probably 8 to 12. So
With a local influence. Well, I hope it wouldn't be attacked by Republicans, but
no, no. Not this episode anyway, but
what do you think?
there will yes, but you may find this book at shockcity.co, and
Hmm,
you are able to order it from many different outlets through there.
I have to
yeah.
tell you how much it warmed my heart to hear the words, it's a horror story for children.
Yes, I like that too. Rather than be reassured or the story that the Repubs think children are reading is probably the most boring story in the children's library, and they would choose one featuring spaceships or dinosaurs before they chose Sally Has Two Daddies or whatever. But of course, all books should be there. It should be available.
Yeah, and horror is for everybody. We think it's
Yeah.
for all ages. It is not strictly for grown-ups.
It's
So
an
this is
emotion that provides catharsis to people both
exactly.
ages.
Yes, precisely.
And I hear it's a nice thing for writers now to say to each other, may your book be banned in Florida.
Mhm.
Well, here's hoping.
It used to
Right
be,
along
it used to be really good for it to be
Huckleberry.
banned
Yeah.
in Boston many years ago.
Yeah.
A book sale would go through the roof if it was banned in Boston. Or at
Hmm.
least that was the rumor. Now, it could be urban legend as far as I'm concerned, um, but
Something that has passed from the scene.
but Dr. Howe, would you like another question?
Yes, I think I would.
Professor Gofflin, did you do the last one or did I?
I did.
We're taking
It's your turn.
turns if you
All
haven't
right.
guessed.
All right. So
Um,
I'm bombarded from both sides.
and
It's
Indeed.
and I was working on a little technical issue. What was the question you read? I'm sorry.
I read Agrajag's question. That's been
Agrajag.
covered.
Thank you. I
Okay.
did hear the answer. I didn't hear the question, so
No worries.
I didn't want to have to extrapolate. Let me see here, Dr. Howe. I have a question here from Resistance International. It is an $18 question, and
Oh.
it is, hi, Dr. Howe. Have the simulation writers gotten lazy, subcontracted out to ChatGPT, or did this timeline jump the shark circa 1995?
I have often said in recent times that it seems that the cosmic scriptwriter is phoning it in and or asleep at the switch, since who could have really believed that such a cartoonish assemblage of villains would appear, or such an absurd and obviously wrong antagonist and be supported by so many people. It would have seemed laziness to create such an antagonist. But it turns out that the last laugh is had by the arbiters of bedrock reality themselves. And so I've felt the same thing that you feel. Pastor Pressure, what was the interrogative dimension of this question?
Let me see. It was
I mean,
have the simulation writers gotten lazy,
yes.
subcontracted out to Chat GPT, or did this timeline jump the shark circa 1995?
Got you. Well, of course, if it is making us question the simulation, that is a bad thing for those of us who live in it, because if it is no longer viable, it will cease to exist, and we will look upon the hideous face of true reality as it is, which reality TV is light years away from. So one may suspect that if there are larger agencies, thrones, dominations, principalities, and powers directing or shaping or even channeling human affairs, they haven't been as good at it as they used to be. Or perhaps they are simply outpaced by the instantaneous communications which our forlorn species have devised, which apparently travel faster than the speed of angels. This is by Billy Collins, a very popular poet. Introduction to Poetry. I ask them to take a poem and hold it up to the light like a color slide, or press an ear against its hive. I say, drop a mouse into a poem and watch him probe his way out, or walk inside the poem's room and feel the walls for a light switch. I want them to water ski across the surface of a poem, waving at the author's name on the shore. But all they want to do is tie the poem to a chair with rope and torture a confession out of it. They begin beating it with a hose to find out what it really means. Thank you for your question, and I hope my answer was satisfactory.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Hal. I have here a question from a friend of the show, Dr. Billy. It is a $15 question, and Dr. Billy asks, why is it so difficult to find a good bagel?
Well, it is difficult to find a good bagel because you know the way a good bagel tastes, but most people don't and are satisfied with something that is shaped like a bagel and uh, compounded of the same ingredients as a bagel. But the wood cart bagels on the streets of New York or Brooklyn are par excellence the cream of the crop of this mass of unleavened bread. Also, the food offered at Zabar's has a selection of these delicacies. And whether it's the large salt crystals or the hotness and freshness, all of these things must be considered. What you purchase in a store may have been sitting there for a sadly long time. And therefore, you have to get a bagel the moment after it is decanted at the post birth moment, and even then you will know if you've actually ever had a true, accurate, and good one whether this one is anything like as good. You can't just make so many of them as to flood the country because they are a specialty item and for some eternally a novelty item. And what was the money that came with that one?
That was a $15 love offering, Dr. Hal.
Oh, my goodness. Well, uh, um, all right. Let me see. Here is a poem by Charles Bukowski. I don't think I've done it before, called Bluebird. Did I ever do that one before? Uh, let's get it. Let me access it. Okay. Bluebird. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too tough for him. I say, stay in there. I'm not going to let anybody see you. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I pour whiskey on him and inhale cigarette smoke, and the whores and the bartenders and the grocery clerks never know that he's in there. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too tough for him. I say, stay down. Do you want to mess me up? You want to screw up the works? You want to blow my book sales in Europe? There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too clever. I only let him out at night sometimes when everybody's asleep. I say, I know that you're there, so don't be sad. Then I put him back, but he's singing a little in there. I haven't quite let him die, and we sleep together like that with our secret past, and it's nice enough to make a man weep, but I don't weep. Do you?
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Hal. Well, it is time for our musical guest. It is that time of the show. And this month we have a wonderful guest who's a friend of the show, Robin Coomer, a returning guest with her song "Smoke and Mirrors." So
Yeah.
we will be showing that to you momentarily. Please, audience, this is your opportunity to get those questions in. Follow the link in the Twitch chat, and we will have them answered by the end of the night. So please take this opportunity now. Ah, wasn't that fun? That was a nice little piece.
Yes, I believe it was written by Merkley and features guitar work by Matt Spatola. And I thought he didn't know how to play the guitar, but apparently he does or has learned. One can always learn.
Very good. I've been trying to learn guitar since I was 15 and failing at it. So,
Yeah, right.
No, practice makes perfect.
as they say,
Well, if only that were easy.
It's just repetitive. That's the deal.
yeah, but learning scales isn't as fun as learning to shred. That was my problem when I was a kid. I didn't apply myself to learning my scales and modes properly.
When I was a teenager, there were some things I got really good at, but I can't do them in public.
Well, we can't always perform publicly what we learn privately.
Sometimes it's better that way. You don't get restraining orders and that sort of thing. They keep you out of the park, 50 feet away from children, all that stuff. But I have a question for you.
Oh, good.
Actually, the great Bloviator has a question for you. Professor Gofflin, I'll bring you back here in just a few minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I have a $30 question, Dr. Hal, from our good friend, the great Bloviator.
All right.
And it is, greetings, Dr. Hal. It's that time of year, so I'm curious as to your thoughts on spooky action at a distance. In your opinion, is it possible for two humans to become entangled like quantum particles? Collegially yours, Dr. Hieronymus Ignatius McGee, Dr. Science Esquire, D period SC Esquire. I think it's Doctor of Science.
All right. Well, I'm certain that it happens all the time. It does in stories and songs, and it is possible that be creatures of the same dispensation and the same design could enact their destinies similarly down to the atomic level. If under certain drugs it is possible to experience telepathy, and if you have been there, you'll know that it is not so much mind reading as thinking exactly the same thoughts and knowing that your communicant also knows that this is going on. And then instead of speaking in words, just a gesture or a tone or a look of the eyes, a turn of the head might signify continuing with the question. After all, we have many, many examples, a certain number of billion on the planet of different variations on a similar design. It would be statistically unlikely if there were not some which were so similar that it would be difficult to tease them apart in all ways. That's my opinion, at any rate. Of course, in magic, one attempts to act upon matter at a distance, and that's something we're all able to participate in these days through the actions of others. We are not the magicians, but the beneficiaries. Thank you for your generous donation. This is a poem by Dylan Thomas. Love in the Asylum. A stranger has come to share my room in the house, not right in the head. A girl, mad as birds. Bolting the night of the door, with her arm, her plume, straight in the mazed bed, she deludes the heaven-proof house with entering clouds. Yet she deludes with walking the nightmarish room as large as the dead, or rides the imagined oceans of the male wards. She has come possessed, who admits the delusive light through the bouncing wall, possessed by the skies. She sleeps in the narrow trough, yet she walks the dust, yet raves at her will on the madhouse boards, worn thin by walking tears, and taken by light in her arms, at long and dear last, I may, without fail, suffer the first vision that set fire to the stars.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Hal. One moment, please, while I bring up another question. Here we are. I have a question from Reverend Dr. Big John. It is a $7 question, and he asks, if you had the ability, which holiday would you replace with second Halloween?
Well, not the 4th of July. We need to remember our country's origins and have that sort of patriotism revived. Certainly not Thanksgiving. I believe in being thankful, and I am entirely in favor of roast turkey. That leaves some others. You know, I might say that the president's birthday, since it is now not the birthday of a president, could easily be nudged aside. And also because it comes at a time where one has to wait a long, long time for Halloween to come into view. And yet Halloween's delight, or one of them, is its exclusivity, and the entire season, which these days it provides and promotes. It's not just one night and one day, but an entire time, which is heralded by the appearance of tons of sugar shaped like pumpkins and candy corn in all of the drugstores. It always used to cheer me up. Of course, my birthday and Christmas also come at the end of the year, so I tended to feel things were moving in my direction when I began to scent Halloween on the wind.
I have a $10 question here from Dr. Snow.
Oh,
And it is: the world ends July 5th, 1998 at 7 a.m. What time zone does that fall in, and do Subgenius and other religious prophecy schedules adhere to daylight savings time?
that always has been mentioned in previous iterations of the X-Day drill when the apparent time comes around, but the saucers are not hovering overhead. But when one is yanked out of this life, perhaps time itself is a variant, and each person's July 5th at 7 a.m. is the time that translation to a higher sphere will occur. Therefore, one need not worry about time zones. And according to some, one need not even worry about being at an assembly point or landing field, since they have pledged to find you wherever you are, and then you will be ruptured, according to our sacred writings, lifted up in the pleasure saucers of the sex goddesses. Worry not about clocks and instruments that measure time. Give no thought to chronometers, but prepare yourself for advanced slackfulness, which is a good drill for whenever July 5th, 1998 actually finally comes in whatever chronological sequence it appears to be plotted.
Thank you, Dr. Hal. I have here a question from Reverend Drunculus, and they ask simply, "What's up, Doc?"
Ah, all sorts of things. Although night is now falling on the West Coast and has fallen before on the East Coast, much is rising with the sun, and the entire panoply of heaven will be up and ideally visible if the light does not pollute it. Yes, the very fullness of the moon will occur on tomorrow night, conjunct with a number of bright planets. And far to the north, though not as far as it should be, the northern lights may display their dazzling curtain. On the other hand, Elon Musk has put up so many satellites that now they can be seen traveling across the sky, and the night sky is not what it used to be. Not only do satellites move in a long line across the zenith, but others decay and enter the atmosphere, and falling like meteors, they fall in an even line, burning one after the other. So that is also up, but coming down. As for the rash of UFO sightings that have recently happened, people don't seem to be connecting them with the fact that almost everyone has a drone and is out flying it at night, making it as spectacular as is possible. Or does it mean, what's up with me? Uh, what is happening to me? Well, I'm back from the desert, back from Burning Man. And I intend to apply myself to some of my projects, since the last few months I spent working on a project for someone else who now sadly doesn't seem inclined to pay me, and I need to make up that deficit. So one must always do it, and I'm going to seek an improvement of my vision, which I need to produce my visual art. How much was the sponsorship,
That
One
Professor?
moment, please. It was a
was
$19 question.
Oh, 19. Well, that's very handsome, and I appreciate it. This is a poem by Dylan Thomas. I have a lot of poems by Dylan Thomas, who I like. He's liked more here than he is in Britain or his native Wales, but there's something about his word choice that seems to commend it. This one is, in fact, called Notes on the Art of Poetry. Uh, um, I could never have dreamt that there were such goings on in the world between the covers of books, such sandstorms and ice blasts of words, such staggering peace, such enormous laughter, such and so many blinding bright lights splashing all over the pages in a million bits and pieces, all of which were words, 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 and each of which were alive forever in its own delight and glory and oddity and light. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you, audience, for your questions so far. Please keep them coming.
we've got
Yes.
all night long.
Mm-hmm.
To quote Marla,
Uh-huh.
I had to laugh. We had a comment in the chat, dude over game. Twitch just gave me ads for gambling and low interest credit cards.
Ooh.
So that's what people have to dodge who are trying to watch this show?
I don't see it, but apparently it throws advertisements out there. So sorry folks, we're pretty non-commercial. But that might explain why we occasionally get a check from Twitch.
That's yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh, they like
for
us because we lure people to the rocks with capitalism.
indeed,
They're
yes.
the founder.
For anybody that is troubled by ads, for a mere $5.99 a month, you can experience the Ask Dr. Hal show ad free. I just wanted to plug that really quickly.
But I gotta say, what a sub-genius combination, gambling and low interest credit cards. It just, I mean, I just died
Yes.
and went to sub-genius heaven.
It's too perfect. It's yeah.
You see a modus operandi there.
What could go wrong? It's a perfect plan. Hey, we have our second monster movie moment of the night, but audience, you can still ask questions. The good doctor still has answers for you. There is a eternal well of wisdom that you can plumb for the cost of a simple love offering. What is that love offering, you may ask? Well, find what that love offering is in your heart. We can't tell you what that is. We can't tell you what the cost of knowledge is. Odin gave an eye. Remember that. Odin gave an eye for wisdom. So what would you give? So, ladies and gentlemen, here comes our second monster movie moment, and we'll see you when we come back.
That one's a personal favorite. I like that one.
Yes, it really is entertaining. It has been criticized because the animation sequences are episodic, but they only enliven a story that is already interesting. The prehistoric bird, Phorus raucus, was depicted well by Arthur Hayward, who worked on exhibits at the British Museum and also worked with Harryhausen on his sculptures. And it was one of a series of birds which are now called terror birds, which had a high niche in the predatory sphere when they were active. They were the most dynamic top predators in the scene in the Miocene era of so many million years ago. And this is a credible representation of one of these giant birds. New types have recently been discovered. The Kelenken is one of the most spectacular of these, but all sorts of giant birds have recently come to light, including giant flying birds, though that does not concern us here.
Hal, I have that picture that you sent me. Would you like to
Oh, yes,
expound
why
on
don't
that
we
at
look
all?
at it? This is a painting by Zdeněk Burian, who's well known in Europe as one of the great paleontological restorers. In America, Charles R. Knight gave us the iconic picture of dinosaurs. This shows two Forus racids. One of them has caught a small cervid, and perhaps they both are going to share in the feast. You'll notice the absurdly tidy wings, which in the film, the bird flaps frantically, although they have no more aerodynamic value as it jumps over the fence. Thank you.
We aim to educate and entertain here at the Ask Dr. Hal show.
This is edutainment.
It's educational. Well, how's the question hopper doing?
You
Oh,
ain't
looks
seen nothing
good.
yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
all right.
looking good so far. I have another question for you here, Dr. Hal. I can take that. Let's see.
All right.
Here we are. This is a $25 question
Mhm.
from Ian Lawless Moth. And the
Oh,
question is, what best describes a subgenius, nature or nurture?
hmm. Well, it is not a guarantee that a subgenius set of parents will bring forth a subgenius offspring. In fact, as we know, the offspring always tend to go their own way, and it is therefore more unlikely that nurture would be the answer. Nature is a far more likely possibility because we believe that subgeniuses are born as not made. If they appear to be made, they're simply bringing out their latent thirst for slack, which is, of course, the subgenius thing. A subgenius must have slack. So, if the child yearns for slack, it is probably a subgenius. Remember, we in the Church of the Subgenius are not trying to convert the world. We are not evangelical. We believe that the nature of subgenius is that the numbers of them are fixed, and all we want to do is tease them out from the general population so they are not so blinded by the conspiracy that they fail to fulfill their true potential at a very crucial time. Please remind me of the sponsored amount. I thought it was a generous one.
It is indeed. It was a $25 offering.
Very good. Well, I, for some reason, feel like just going on with Dylan Thomas, and I hope I'm not overdoing it. But here's one called Especially When the October Wind, and we can think of the next month in this way. Especially when the October wind with frosty fingers punishes my hair caught by the crabbing sun, I walk on fire and cast a shadow crab upon the land by the sea's side, hearing the noise of birds, hearing the raven cough in winter slicks my busy heart, who shudders as she talks, sheds the syllabic blood, and drains her words. Shut, too, in a tower of words, I mark on the horizon, walking like the trees, the wordy shapes of women, and the rows of the star-gestured children in the park. Some let me make you of the voweled beeches, some of the oaken voices from the roots of many a thorny shire tell you notes, some let me make you of the water's speeches. Behind a pot of ferns, the wagging clock tells me the hour's word. The neural meaning flies on the shafted disk, declaims the morning, and tells the windy weather in the cock. Some let me make you of the meadow's signs, the signal grass that tells me all I know breaks with the wormy winter through the eye. Some let me tell you of the raven's sins, especially when the October wind. Some let me make you of autumnal spells, the spider-tongued, and the loud hill of Wales, with fists of turnips punishes the land. Some let me make you of the heartless words. The heart is drained, that spelling in the scurry of chemic blood, warned of the coming fury by the sea's side. Hear the dark, fouled birds.
Beautiful, Hal. Dr. Hal, I have a question here from our very good friend Mob Miati, and it is an $18 question.
Very good.
And it's something we all want to know. Will there be bacteria in heaven?
Well, I suppose there would have to be good bacteria, the best bacteria. And in fact, there are bacteria which we need. They are a commensal species. They live within us and influence our decisions. I speak of the bacteria of the gut, which must have them in order to perform its essential digestive function. Now, this would lead one to say, are you really going to be eating and defecating in heaven? Well, one doesn't know because no traveler has ever returned from that particular bourne. But many Christian mystics, and since we talk about heaven, we are in a sort of a Christian scheme of things, believe that heaven is like earth, only more real. And so what we do there will have more meaning and more intensity than it does here, where everything is clouded by our planet's domination by the Dark Lord, whose realm is this world, whose kingdom is of this world, unlike the vaunted kingdom of the Son of God. Although it has to be pointed out that Satan once said, I too am Son of God. And he had a point. Well, $18, you say? I'm going to do another Dylan Thomas. The force that through the green fuse drives the flower drives my green age, that blasts the roots of trees is my destroyer. And I am dumb to tell the crooked rose, my youth is bent by the same wintry fever. The force that drives the water through the rocks drives my red blood, that dries the mouthing streams turns mine to wax, and I am dumb to mouth unto my veins how from the mountain stream the same mouth sucks. The hand that whirls the water in the pool stirs the quicksand that ropes the blowing wind, hauls my shroud sail, and I am dumb to tell the hanging man how of my clay is made the hangman's lime. The lips of time leach to the fountainhead, love drips and gathers, and the fallen blood shall calm her sores. And I am dumb to tell the weather's wind how time has ticked a heaven round the stars. And I am dumb to tell the lover's tomb, how at my sheet goes the same crooked worm.
Dr. Howe,
Very
that was
good.
beautiful.
Well, it's Dylan Thomas who should get the credit. But we let's hope we have at least one more question to answer. I fear we haven't answered enough.
Well, indeed, we do
Alas.
have one last question.
We do.
One last question.
Where did that come from?
I miscounted. I there was one hiding under the couch. I found it.
Oh, where is it?
You know, back in the day when I would do this show, Chicken would announce the last question, but of course he would have squirreled another one away somewhere that he could pull out after
Apparently we did. Where is this
or he'd
swirled?
hold
I
up a
didn't.
question.
Where is it? I didn't see
He'd
it.
hold up a question and say the following question is in two parts, and then go rip and rip it apart and so forth and so. But we have no need for such comedic hijinks here. We'll simply answer whatever question it is.
Well, Professor Gofflin, you know what? Since you know where that damn question is, why don't you go ahead and read it? Because
I've got you. Here we go.
Can't find it. So
All right.
glad you're here.
All right, this one has been fished out from under the refrigerator. It is from Jeff, My Pick TV. It is a $9 question, and they ask, how do we know that you are you and not simply an AI-generated imposter?
I don't know whether that can be known anymore, Jeff, but one indication is that the AI generator would probably do a better job, would be more gaudy. Look at the art that is AI generated that's coming. It all has a sort of a greasy explicitness. It's in ultra sharp focus. Every detail is burnished, gleaming, and polished, while ours is a sort of faded video image, serviceable enough, but not distracting. For such distractions, we have monsters and cartoons and other things, since we acknowledge that the visual dimension must have a supreme part of a visual show. So if we are some false thing pretending to be a real thing, it does prompt the question, what real thing is it pretending to be? I did do a live version of this show for many years until COVID came and other circumstances made it impossible to continue in my own state. This year, I did it near Allentown, Pennsylvania, where Pastor Pontius Pressure and St. Joyce were also present, and I've done it in Arizona, but for some reason, California seems a hard nut to crack. And California is the epicenter of this generation of explicitly representational and over-polished art. And even that is not entirely certain, since some people like to make art that is like that. And they say genius is the capacity for taking infinite pains, a capacity now also shared with an artificial intelligence image generating system.
Very good.
Well, and wouldn't you know it, how we spun those wheels one more time, and what dropped out but another question.
Oh, very good.
So,
from whom is it anyway?
Well, now I will get to that. Here it is. It is from our very good friend Friar Quasar. Additionally, it is a $9 question.
All right.
And the question is, what is the milk of the word of Bob? And what is the meat of the church of the subgenius? And is Bob lactose intolerant?
To answer the last first, Bob is omnivorous and tolerates everything. What is ingested or taken in by Bob in both the real and the symbolic way is everted or outturned and flourishes like the ever-branching bush of evolution. The eternal variant expressions of an idea which duplicated get to be sources themselves. Perhaps that was why the God of the Israelites chose to represent himself as a burning bush, although many are dissatisfied with Cecil B. DeMille's special effect of that. I actually thought its modesty commended itself, and it gave me a creepy little feeling that maybe the Lord would do that. In subgenius philosophy and religion, we hear that the cosmic creator, Jehovah One, who William Blake called Nobo Daddy, is a senile version of his previous self. The cosmic space god now rests on his laurels and subordinates all aspects of creation to his underlings, the harried angel class, who are busier than ever and not enjoying their nectar and ambrosia. I require a slight jog to recall the beginning of the question.
It was, what is the milk of the word of Bob, and what is the meat of the Church of the Subgenius?
All right. The meat of the Church of the Subgenius, as of any church, is the expectation of a blessed hope which we offer. But ours does not entirely rest in the couches of the pleasure saucers, the space goddesses, because we believe we can derive slack here at home. The more slack we enjoy, the more subgenius we become, and the more able we are to be picked out on that day of the rupture. One who is barely a subgenius will be harder to locate, even on the godlike instrumentalities of these space visitors. And the milk of Bob is, of course, the flowing words of the Church of the Subgenius. You know, this church is one that primarily exists on paper. It is a literary exercise. One may write and contribute to it. One may make art and contribute to it. But as for putting lights up on the screen, that is no proof of allegiance. And many who join the subgenius community online, or think they have, do not even answer the basic questionnaire which we provide. I have to say that when I am at the throttle, I routinely reject the ones who do not bother even to take a stab, even a snarky stab at this questionnaire. We existed before the internet, and we exchanged our messages like the ironic points of light that flash out when the just do that. And although we continue doing it using the most up-to-date methods, the basis of it is essentially the milk of Bob. One may refer to the milk of a male being. It has been done before, certainly by William Blake in his epic poem Milton, which I have quoted elsewhere.
I wonder if you could.
$9, did you say?
I'm sorry.
Nine?
It was a $9 question, yes.
$9. Oh, that's a nice number. An odd number.
I love $9.
Yes.
It's nice. $9.
Yes, we never say $9 to dollars.
No.
Indeed.
Ironically. Let me spin the wheels.
One last time. I don't see any additional questions at this time.
Well, we have a good show coming up in October with our friends, the Dust Bowl Fairies, I believe, and many surprises and pleasurable parts. But we're not entirely through with this one, are we?
Well, no, we have a little bit to go. And the next show too, I'm going to try and I'm going to pull my old ghost hunting tools out of the attic.
Subgenius ghost hunter.
Subgenius skeptical ghost hunter.
Well, that will come to light in the fullness of time.
Oh my God.
That's not the way to attract the audience, but nonetheless, it will be subgenius ghost hunters.
I will tell you all about these scientific investigations.
They're real scientific.
Man. like the Beverly Hillbillies doing a scientific investigation.
Well, don't discount the Beverly Hillbillies. They've changed the way Americans think and speak.
Oh,
People now regularly talk about the invite to some thing that started with Granny and the Beverly Hillbillies. The proper way was to refer to an invitation, but people just tend to pick up what they see on TV, and it becomes a powerful part of the language.
we're being imprinted slowly.
Hmm
Our minds
Even
are
by some
being
of the things that we've shown as excerpts on our show.
we're being slowly absorbed into that hive mind.
Well, you can be on the crest of the wave, or you can be tumbled by it
Well,
beneath.
we're sub geniuses, so I'll see you on the next round of that tumble.
The spin cycle. Actor arrives at Emmys with bloody handprint on face. Well, you see, that's the sort of thing that I'm bombarded with constantly, but I'm not following that up. We'll
Well,
all hear about it to exhaustion in the next few days.
Like the mark of
probably.
Sauron, or what? I
I
mean,
don't know. Somebody with a bloody hand gave him a smack on the face.
Huh, I'll be.
oh my
But
God.
much as I know, and I care to know no more at this particular time.
An exchange of bodily fluids in the 21st century. I'm disgusted.
Now
Ooh.
that they reorganized Facebook, it's constantly shooting low-life things at me, like, woman tortures child to death and so on. All that stuff. I want to read about that. I don't think so. But you have to click on it to make it go away, and they replace it with another one.
I think
Oh, I
we
don't
need to
like
take a
that.
look at that, Hal.
Yeah, I think we need to have a look at your computer. That doesn't sound
That
normal.
doesn't
Oh,
sound
I
right.
think they've redone it so that it just happens.
Oh,
No?
no, we're not seeing that.
That doesn't happen to me, not on
Hmm.
the regular.
Well, it happened to my computer, but you're all hooked up during this show. But anyway,
Hmm.
maybe Facebook isn't. Facebook also plows to the surface things that I printed 5 or 10 years ago that I posted because its robots think I'm not using it enough, so they're trying to get me to make comments and so on. But people do tend to make comments because 5 or 10 years ago they might not have seen that particular thing.
We're going to live on forever.
Oh, God, I hope not.
50
Well,
years ago, Pontius Pressure posted this.
but this all is dependent on the power never going off. So factor that
Yeah, that'll never happen.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, goodness.
That'll never happen. Our grid is strong.
Grid willing.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that we are joined in the chat room by participants.
You know what? Let me throw that out there into the chat room. There we go.
Yes, indeed. Dear audience, please join us for our after show chat as is tradition. We would love to see you there.
And this link works.
Yes, this one should function.
It's a really hot link.
This link works.
A spicy transmission.
Did it under my own account. I know it works. It's
all right. And it's on the chat now if you're looking at the Zoom screen.
the irony is I took my conspiracy name off of the account, which is what I created the chat under the last time. And so my conspiracy name doesn't exist on Zoom anymore, apparently. I can set up like little short meetings, but I can't do long ones because it doesn't recognize me as having any authority to do so.
I see.
Okay.
But we have addressed this and it should be fine.
But it works now.
So yes, please audience, we would love to see you there. And thank you once again, one and all, for your generous love offerings and questions. As always, you put the ask in Ask Dr. Hal.
And also, you could send in criticism along with your love offerings or suggestions of something you would like to see us doing. That is all very legitimate, and you might provide something that our tired brains have not been able to.
Yes, we do accept comments, questions, threats, innuendo, what have you. Yes.
And attaching a love offering to any of the above will cause us to pay attention to it.
Yes, yes. So we're not soliciting threats, you understand,
We can
but
be had.
understand the reality here of being something that is on the screen of Zoom via Twitch.
We can be had.
Indeed.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to say good night. Let me spin those wheels one more time because I'm superstitious.
Oh.
Spin, spin, spin him again.
And nope, our friend Friar Quasar was our last contributor of the evening. So, with that, audience, thank you all so much for coming tonight. We still have more show coming at you, but hang out for a little bit, and we'll be with you over in the chat room, in about another 15 minutes or so. So we'll see you then.
All right.
All right. So stick around. We got a little bit more coming, and we will see you next month, October the 20th.
Indeed.
It'll be a big fat Halloween show.
I love
Yes.
it.
A wonderful season, a wonderful time.
I love Halloween.
That's my favorite.
It's my Christmas.
Same. It's also my wedding anniversary, so
that's
works
sweet.
out really well.
Oh, that's nice.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
That's nice. Actually, Joyce and I guess I should mention, St. Joyce and I, our anniversary will be on the 25th of this month. And
congratulations.
We've been married 42 years.
Oh my.
Well, you'll have to do something for that.
See that beard?
Yes.
See all the white in that beard? That's 42 years of being married to the same person who I'm crazy about. So if anybody's ever seen Joyce and I together, it's like, yeah, it's kind of obvious that we're a bonded pair. So anyway, she's probably the reason why I still have some bounce in my step, not actually the gray in my beard. Anyway, folks, on that note, we will see you all next month and hang out. And we've got a little bit more show coming. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Please be sure to join us for the next live Ask Dr. Hal Show Home Edition, Sunday, October 20th, only on Twitch. Visit our website at AskDrHalShow.com for information on this as well as where to find previous episodes. From there, Dr. Hal is only a finger click away.
The Ballad of Frankie Lee and Judas Priest. Now, Frankie Lee and Judas Priest, they were the best of friends. So when Frankie Lee needed some more money one day, Judas quickly pulled out a roll of tens and placed them on a footstool above the plotted plain, saying, "Take your pick, Frankie boy, my loss will be your gain." Well, Frankie Lee, he sat him down and put his fingers to his chin, but with the cold eyes of Judas on him, his head began to spin. "Could you please not stare at me like that?" he said. "I know it's just my foolish pride, but sometimes a man must be alone, and this is no place to hide." "All right," said Judas Priest to Frankie Lee. "All right, I'll leave you here, but you better start picking which of those bills you want before they all disappear." "I'll do my picking right now. Just tell me where you'll be." Then Judas pointed down the road and said, "Eternity." "Eternity," said Frankie Lee in a voice as cold as ice. "That's right," said Judas Priest, "eternity, though you might call it paradise." "I don't call it anything," said Frankie Lee with a smile. "All right," said Judas Priest, "all right. I'll see you after a while." Well, Frankie Lee, he sat right down, feeling low and mean, when soon a passing stranger burst upon the scene, saying, "Are you Frankie Lee, the gambler, whose father is deceased?" Well, if you are, there's a fella calling for you down the road, and they say his name is Priest. Oh, yes, he is my friend, said Frankie Lee in fright. I do recall him very well. In fact, he just left my sight. Yes, that's the one, said the stranger, as quiet as a mouse. Well, my message is he's down the road a piece, stranded in a house. Well, Frankie Lee, he panicked. He dropped everything and ran until he came unto the spot where Judas Priest did stand. What kind of a house is this, said Frankie Lee, where I have come to roam? Oh, it's not a house, said Judas Priest. It's not a house, it's a home. Well, Frankie Lee, he trembled. He soon lost all control over everything which he had made while those mission bells did toll. He just stood there looking at that bright house, as bright as any sun, with 24 windows and a woman's face in every one. Then up the stairs ran Frankie Lee with a soulful bounding leap, and foaming at the mouth Frankie Lee began to make his midnight creep. For 16 days and nights he raved, till on the 17th he burst into the arms of Judas Priest, which is where he died of thirst. No one said a single thing when they carried him off in jest, except, of course, for the little neighbor boy when they carried him to his rest, and he just walked along, head down, his guilt so well concealed, and muttered underneath his breath, "Nothing is revealed." Now, the moral of the story, the moral of the song, the moral is one should simply never be where one does not belong. And if you see your neighbor carrying something, help him with his load, and don't go mistaking paradise for that home across the road. Bob Dylan.